Hello YouTube, welcome back to another game of StarCraft 2 Legacy of the Void. This is going to be a Protoss versus Protoss game, and it's going to be HuK versus Barcode. So, quickly introduce our players. HuK, of course, who is a pro player. I do know a lot about him, and his opponent is going to be Barcode, who unfortunately I do not know anything about. So, quick announcement as per usual, my League of Legends channel is up there. If you are interested in it, of course, check that out if you are on my channel for League of Legends usually, because I've decided to split the two and no longer have League of Legends on the StarCraft 2 channel, for obvious reasons. So let's see, let's jump into the game. We are about 35 seconds in at this point. And let's see. So everything is pretty standard so far, except for the fact that it looks like our Barcode player is opting to go for a block here rather than just going for straight production buildings inside of his base. And HuK is actually going for an expansion first, so he's obviously interested in expanding, or rather getting his economy rolling at the very beginning. So I honestly, I'm looking for a lot of feedback in terms of the music that I'm using for my videos. So obviously I can't use music like dubstep and all this stuff, because most of that stuff is copyrighted. So I have to be very mindful of what exactly I'm including inside my videos. So what I do at the moment anyways is I'm including StarCraft 1 Brood War, StarCraft 2, and also Warcraft 2 music in my casts. I think that some of this music has been some of the best music that's ever created for games, and I might also be including some World of Warcraft music as well. I just need to kind of not filter it, but I need to remove any of the like very quiet musics that you would have, let's say, in a leveling zone or something. So when you have like an event music where it's like, you know, one of those epic sounds kind of thing, then that way I can have a really cool sounding video, or rather music, which is also not copyrighted, because Blizzard does allow you to use their music for your videos. As long as, well, I don't really know what the exact agreements is, but I assume they have no problem as long as it's in their own games. Even though, to be honest, even that I don't know. I don't think they might even have a problem if you use it at all. But yeah, Blizzard music is pretty damn awesome, including their cinematics as well. So it looks like we got ourselves a cybernetic score here at this point. Let's see what we've got on the other side. Now, just to note, double gas here for both of our players, so this could very well result in either a starport, or Stargate rather. And there we go, we do actually have a Stargate from our Barcode player, so he is most certainly interested in getting those flying units out. And I really am curious to see what he's going to do. Looking at the way the matchup works, I think that getting oracles makes more sense right now. These poor little adepts getting taken out at this point, or sorry, one adept. So one adept, one worker taken out so far. And Mothership Core is here as well. That is... Why does he have a Mothership Core here? Surely this is a misclick. I mean, there's stalkers here. These stalkers are going to take out that Mothership Core very quickly. They're going to have to, or he's going to have to move that away very fast. HuK, of course, not caving under the pressure. Looks like Phoenix is this choice here, getting a second Stargate as well. And looks like HuK is actually getting his own Stargate as well. And I wonder, has these been spotted? It has indeed, so both players going to know exactly what's going on. That's probably why our Barcode player put down the second Stargate, just basically to counter off that Stargate. Phoenix is in the air, second one on the way as well. And it looks like HuK is doing the exact same thing. He's actually also got himself a robotics facility, so opting not to go for a double Stargate. Now, that could turn both good and sour for him, because realistically, he needs to get something to counter off these Phoenixes, but at the same time, if he gets enough Stalkers, that is probably enough to deal with a few Phoenixes. Let's see, that's a real Phoenix. It is getting surrounded. And then one Phoenix is going to get taken out. Now this sends alarm bells ringing for HuK. He knows this is coming for him right now, and what he needs to do is get Blink Stalkers as soon as possible, because then he will be able to deal with these. So let's look at the energy. We've got ourselves one Graviton Beam here, one here, and one here. In fact, one of them has two, so there's a total of 4 that he can get off here, which means of course 4 units can get taken out, even more at this point. Let's see what he's going to do here. He's got himself 5 Phoenixes in the air right now, and with overcharges this would be very, very dangerous for our Barcode player. He needs to be careful not to get caught by those overcharges, because if he does, losing any of his Phoenixes could be quite a big economic hit for him. Let's see, there's a total of 7 Phoenixes. Picking up 1 Stalker. 2nd Stalker picked up as well. So this is good pickoffs here. 3 Stalkers picked off, and he's going to get a 4th one as well. 4th as well getting taken out here. This is really clever moves right here from Barcode. I mean, he's done a lot of damage to his opponent right now. Despite the fact that he's only picked off about 4 or 5, but he's lost nothing for it. As you can see, there is one like super low. It is about to die, but it's not completely dead, so not too bad. Looks like both players going for the expansions at this point. HuK does have his finished. And he's also got a bit better economy, but once he manages to take out any more Stalkers, then at that point he will be able to take out a lot of workers as well. The only thing is of course energy, but energy of course regenerates pretty quick. Let's see, double Void Rays. So that's quite interesting. I mean, Barcode is definitely going for air superiority right now. He's getting himself a nothing on the ground whatsoever. Oh, look at that. He's actually already got 2 Void Rays at this point. So he got himself 2 sentries, 1 Stalker, 2 Void Rays, and I believe there was another 2 Void Rays as well. So that's a total of 4 Void Rays. And these Phoenixes, he did lose 1 of them, by the way, just to note. Looks like we got ourselves a Temporal Archives. And what is he going to do here? I mean, at this point, the only thing that both players can really do to each other is harass. Once Barcode gets more units, which he is indeed doing, he'll be able to pretty much steamroll his opponent. I mean, he is ahead on supply the whole time. And oh no, the good blink here, taking out a few of those Phoenixes, or rather 1 Phoenix it seems. And this is good. I mean, he needs to do exactly this, just prevent those Phoenixes from doing any economic damage. He ideally would want to get a fort base as well, just to get things rolling a little bit, because he has fallen behind in terms of army supply. But he does have the perfect amount of mining potential at the moment. I just think that he would be better off spreading those a little bit to prevent the you know, the too much damage from being done. Then again, I suppose he's not playing Zerg, so I'm just gonna ignore what I just said, because that makes very little sense. Uh-oh. Oh no. Are you seeing what I'm seeing? I am seeing a carrier being built. That is awesome. In fact, he's got himself 2 carriers being built. Barcode, who are you? Because I love you. You making the carriers, which is gonna hopefully turn out to be an amazing game for us. What I would love to see is for HuK to do the same, but it doesn't look like he's interested in that right now. He's getting himself, looks like High Templars, although they could of course be used for Archons as well, just like he's done with these. As you can see, more blinks. Doesn't quite manage to pick them all off, but there's only what, 4 remaining Phoenixes at this point, so not a whole lot. He's getting level 2 weapons. These Phoenixes are not going to be able to do a whole lot. What I think he needs to do right now is use this Oracle to get himself a few units caught in status fields. because that of course can be such a huge game changer. I think they're definitely underused at this point. I mean, it's such a powerful unit. If you can manage to catch off about 6 or 7 stalkers inside a status field, that is pretty much game right there. I mean, there's no way to come back from that, unless your opponent just completely crushes you in terms of army. But it's very difficult to deal with that. Oracle tried to get a little bit close, but pretty much warded off immediately. The poor little thing. Let's see, the fort base is up. In fact, both our players have the fort base up. And oh my god, look at the amount of carriers he's making. I mean, this is pretty damn awesome. Dude, I love this guy. Who is this? If I knew who this Barcode player was, I would reach out and over the internet and shake his hand right now, because whenever I see carriers I get absolutely excited, because seeing carriers in Legacy of the Void it's just so rare. I think it's so unfair to that unit. They need to be nerfed, or buffed rather, and I don't know, buff their damage, nerf their cost, something to make them a bit more used, because they're just such a cool unit, and they're so what's the correct word here? They're such an important lore unit. I mean, if you think about it, Tassadar had a carrier. Who else had a carrier? There was not Artanis. There was another hero back in the day that had a carrier as well. And it's just such an important figure in StarCraft 1 and 2 actually. So it would definitely be cool to have carriers come back. And the one thing I have to say in relation to underappreciated units, carriers, sorry, not carriers, battle cruisers. What the hell? Where are all the carriers? I know they're expensive as hell, but surely they're strong enough to be used as well. What, these poor interceptors, they're gonna get wrecked immediately. Probably not the best of options to let those just sit there. Looking at army supply, HuK is at 134, Barcode is at 108. Now the one thing that I see is a big advantage right now for HuK is he's got these Archons which have a lot of splash damage. His disadvantage though is all of those zealots. He's got himself, that's 24, and the second page is another 7. That's 31 zealots that cannot attack air. But his opponent has got 5 carriers and he's building more and more. He's got 4 carriers being made right now. That's the 6th one right there. In total he's going to have 10 carriers. Once those are up and running, it's going to be so difficult to deal with them when all you've got is a bunch of zealots and Archons. And here we go. The engagement going down. There's so much damage onto these carriers. He's definitely going to want to... Oh, he's actually called them back. So he recalled back. And he's actually still... he ended up losing one of those Archons anyways. Despite the fact that he's recalled back. He's going to have to regenerate those workers very, very quickly right now. And not workers, these interceptors. I think that if HuK would have engaged there, this would have been his one clean moment to punish his opponents for all this air, because he lost so many of those interceptors. But now these interceptors are going to be remade very, very quickly. And here we go, there's so many zealots here. I honestly don't know how this is going to turn out. I mean, it's a nice army from HuK. He's got himself High Templars as well. There's going to be a few storms going down, but realistically, these zealots are going to be so useless. I mean, there is a few ground units. Yeah, there's a few, but not a whole lot. And these carriers, if they group up like this, and if they let their interceptors fall so easily, he's not going to have enough to actually do much with it. So he needs to be super careful. If he loses a bunch of these interceptors before he even engages onto the main army, that'll definitely start favoring HuK very quickly. Looking at production, we've got ourselves, I think that is level 2 shields. Yes, it is indeed. And he's got himself level 2 air weapons as well. So level 2 shields, level 2 weapons. What he needs to do right now is get something to deal with those Archons. Honestly, the question for me is carrier production correct for him at this point, now that he's got so many carriers. I mean, that is a total of 10, 11? 11 carriers in total, which we can actually do by doing this. 11 in total, there we go. There we go, there's blinks going down as well, but these units are getting destroyed so quickly. The storm's going down onto the interceptors. They took out quite a lot there, but the army supply is very heavily favoring our Barcode player. The interceptors are getting destroyed at the same time, so once they get destroyed, they're not going to have a lot of attacking capability. But it does look like he's done enough damage to force HuK back. I personally think that HuK needed to continue there, because realistically, if he destroys these 3 Archons and these 3 Void Rays, at that point his army is superior. Because if you have no interceptors on your carriers are just big meat shields. They're just there to get slapped around, and that's exactly what the carriers would do. They would just tear them out of the sky. So it looks like he's stopped making the carriers, instead he's making Archons for himself. So Archon versus Archon action. Oh no, these carriers, move back. Send your interceptors back. That's waste, because those interceptors are toast. What he's going to do here, these zealots running in here, they are going to be able to deny this base before the carriers arrive. And carriers has arrived. Let's see what's going to go down here. We've got ourselves a big engagement. We got, oh no, and HuK's army is getting absolutely decimated. I think that this might be it. I mean, if Barcode continues on with this aggression, even if HuK does not GG out, 25 army supply against 111, which is a bunch of carriers. This is not looking good for HuK right now. Is he going to continue on with this? I think that he recognizes his advantage. Let's see how much he's seen. He does know about this. Actually, he does know about this base. My correction. And these poor little zealots getting caught out. Oh no! And he's continuing on with this. He's not scared. He knows he's got the advantage. Look at how quickly those buildings melt. They just melt. His overcharge is going down. Are those overcharges going to be enough? Honestly, I do not think so. I think this is pretty much over at this point. 119 supply to 59. I hate calling GG early, but when it's like this, I just don't see it happening. And there we go. Barcode has won the game with HuK calling GG on this one. So I think that this was quite a good choice from HuK to just continue on with from Barcode to continue on with the carrier production. He caught HuK off guard with so many zealots. That was just an insane amount of zealots, which I think is crazy. I mean, if you have so many zealots versus carriers, it's not going to end well. Full stop. So that's pretty much it. I hope you've enjoyed this. Don't forget to like the video, subscribe if you haven't, if you'd like to see more, and if you haven't done so already, and I will see you guys in the next one. Good luck.